Hello, everybody. All right, it's Tuesday. Today we have an upper body strength and conditioning session that we are going to get through today. For the warm-up, we will not need any equipment, just this one piece of equipment, the best one, our body and our mat. For the strength exercises and the conditioning, we are going to be using some stuff, including this chair. Tucked under the chair, I have my 8-pound dumbbells, my loop bands, and I will also be using over here my long band, which you can grab, but you don't need it quite yet, as we will be using it towards the strength stuff. So let's get you started, and we are getting down on the floor to start today's session off, getting into our all-four position, our hands and our knees. We want to make sure our shoulders are stacked on top of our wrists, our hips are stacked on top of our knees. We're going to take one hand and reach it through and back towards that opposite hip, and then we'll open up, exhaling, reaching that hand up towards the ceiling. So we're reaching in, through, back towards the hip, getting a nice opening stretch in that upper back between the shoulder blades. And then we'll exhale, follow that hand with the eyeballs, looking hopefully at the ceiling right above yourself. And we will get 10 of these on each side. So because, again, we're reaching back behind us, we might feel a little bit more stretch in action happening between those shoulder blades, which is what we're going for. So we'll go through 10 of those on that side, and then we will switch and do 10 on this side over here. So we'll go through these ones, exhaling as we open, inhaling as we close, 10 and 10, very nice. Trying to keep the legs still, the hips still, just that upper body, moving through those ones. So we'll get through 10 and 10, and then we're getting right back up off the floor, where we're going to extend our arms out to the sides, palms facing down. We got these little circles. We're going to start drawing them with our straight arms moving through the shoulder. So we'll go through 10 of these, keeping them little and small, 10 circles backwards, and then we'll stop and we'll take those forwards through 10 more, keeping the palms down, keeping the arms straight, trying to get that burning sensation brewing in our shoulders. Maybe. If not, you'll probably feel it on the next one, because we're going to go that first direction again. Not worrying too much about the palms, but we're going to make these circles as big as they can go. So we'll go through 10 now, backwards, big ones, as big as our body allows us, 10 of them, and then we'll stop and we'll do 10 going forwards. And if we're feeling a burn in the shoulders, that's all good. That's what is going to happen in this one. So we'll go through 10 and 10. Once we're finished those, we're going to keep the arms down by our sides and go through 3 shoulder rotations while keeping those arms straight down beside us, 3 backwards, and then 3 forwards. Really trying to move the shoulders forward, backward, up and down through that full circle. So 3 and 3. As we finish up those ones, we're going to swing it out for the next one. So 10 total, over and under, swinging those arms, loosening up all that stuff from those circles, 10 of them. And this one feels kind of nice after that one. As we finish up this one, we're going back down onto the floor to get our shoulder blades warmed up, working, activated, back into our all-four position. We're going to try to bring the shoulder blades together without bending the arms, and then we'll exhale and spread those shoulder blades apart, trying to make this range as big as we can make it. So trying to go as high as we can. Again, not moving too much through the hips, just the shoulder blades are going to tuck together and then spread apart. And we'll go through 10 of these, trying to exhale as we open up and spread the shoulders. Inhale as we bring them together. And just moving through that upper back. So 10 of these shoulders. Very nice. Okay. And then, you guessed it, we're right back up. Right back up here. The last one we're going to do is all about our neck. So standing up tall, once we're finished those scapular retractions, we're going to tuck our chin towards our chest. Taking this real slow, we're going to circle out the neck, bringing the ear to the shoulder, turn to the front so you can see, and then we're looking up to the ceiling, circling all the way around, opposite ear to the same shoulder. And then we're back to where we started. We're going to stop and go in the other direction. So as we go through this, arms are down by our sides. We can just relax the arms, We'll go through 2 rotations each way. So I'll go one more time, all the way around, taking a sweet time with this one. All the way back to center. And then once you are finished, we are going to swing out those arms. You can grab yourself some water. We're going to get you started on the first part, where is my timer? Which is going to be done off of this here timer. So today is a Tuesday, and we have a theme that we follow each week. And Tuesdays, we do push-ups, which is what we're going to do and start here with today. For our push-ups today, we're going to be doing them EMOM style. EMOM is our acronym for every minute on the minute. So we have a rep range that we're going to follow. I'm going to set this timer so that it is going to beep every minute. Okay, so there's going to be a beep going on every minute, and when that beep happens, you are going to complete anywhere between 5 to 8 push-ups. Okay, so timer goes off, 5 to 8 push-ups. The remainder of the minute that we have left after we complete our set number of push-ups is going to be rest. Okay, and then when we reach that second minute, it's going to beep, and we're going to restart and do our second set of these ones. We have 6 sets total. Okay, so lots of time to practice and push up. So what I would like you to do right now is think about how many reps that you would like to do as I set this here timer for us for 1 minute. There we go. So if you are a push-up aficionado, then of course I want you to work at the higher rep range of 8. If you're someone who is still working on your push-ups, 5 is the number to be. And we are going to try our very best to stay consistent through all 6 sets. Okay, so let's get down there and let's do our first set of these push-ups. Okay, I'm going to press start on this timer. And if there's any confusion, it will be cleared up as we start this. So I want you to get down into your push-up position, get ready to start in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So this is our first set of push-ups where we're trying to complete 5 to 8. Okay, so we're doing these ones full body, inhaling down, exhaling up, 5, maybe 8, and then we are going to rest. Okay, so again, as you come to an end of that first set, you'll probably have anywhere between this 35, 30 seconds left, which is going to strictly be rest. So you can stand up, you can stay down, you don't have to get up if you don't want to. Grab some water, do pretty much whatever you want to do. And then we are going to go through 5 more rounds of this, okay? So we have 20 seconds left until that timer is going to beep. And how are you feeling right now? Hopefully that was challenging, but if it's not, what we're going to do on this next set is slow the heck down on these push-ups. I want you to stick with that same number that you did. Unless you did 5, then you could go up to 8. That's okay. Here we go for our second set. So if you did the 8 and you still found them a little bit easy, then what we can do is slow that negative phase down, that lowering phase, to make our set of 8 take longer, which is going to be more challenging on its own. It's also going to mean we get less rest at the end of our set, which is another way that's going to crank this up. Okay, so we'll try to stay consistent unless you need to make this set a little bit more challenging. Okay, that's okay. Again, as you finish up, we are going to just rest. Something that, we don't get a lot of between push-ups. Sometimes we're kind of going back to back, so we'll enjoy this. We'll take some deep breaths, okay? We'll try to just get ourselves mentally prepared to do 4 more rounds of this. So 5 seconds left on our rest. Starting our third set right now. Here we go. So we'll start that third set of push-ups, trying to do the same thing that you did on the second set. Okay, on the first set too, but some of us might have done something a little different on the second. So we'll try to keep that going through our next 3 sets, this one and 3 more. There we go. Okay, so we'll get through these ones. 5 to 8. We have that range in there. And that doesn't mean you have to do 5 or you have to do 8. Okay, you can do 6, you can do 7, anywhere between those 2. But we will try to keep it even on our next 3 sets because we have 3 more. 15 seconds left on this timer. Resting. And then we will start that next set. Okay, so a couple more deep breaths. Get yourself ready. If you're standing, we'll get back down here. Ready to go in 3, 2, 1, and let's do it. So same thing that we did on that last set. Trying to breathe through these ones, using that exhale to push yourself off the floor. Trying to do them as proper as possible. There we are. Okay, and then once you're finished, we're just gonna rest. We have 2 more sets of this, okay? There we go. So this EMOM, every minute on the minute, our acronym. We love acronyms in here. This is a great technique to sort of force ourselves into not taking as much rest as we might normally take. For example, last day we did a lower rep range. We had 3 push-ups at a time, and we took a little bit more rest. So that's why it is oh so important that you stay consistent and even, all right? So we'll think about that here as we get into our set number 5, which starts right now. Let's do it, okay? 5th set. Again, we have 1 more after this, and then we are done with push-ups for today. Good news. Unless you really like them, then that's okay. All right, so we'll breathe through these. We're feeling like we're getting a little heavier. Push-ups are getting more challenging. Again, that is because we are not taking very much rest. Okay, so 30 seconds left until we start our final set. Woohoo! The last and final round. Okay, so as you finish up this one, take some deep breaths. Okay, we're gonna get into our final and last set, starting in just over 10 seconds. Now, this last set, a little bit different. What I want you to do is see how many push-ups you can get. Okay, I know you can get at least 5, maybe at least 8. And here we go. Let's get that number. Okay, do exactly what you did on the past 4 or 5 sets that we went through. And then in that little bit of rest that we have at the end, we're gonna see if we can crank out a few, potentially maybe a little wobbly, a little shaky reps, but that's okay because those ones are really gonna push us beyond what our body and what our mind is prepared for and wants to do. Okay, so get your number, and then if you need to, you can just rest. You can kneel for a second, take a breath, and then when you're ready, we'll get back in and see if we can crank out a few extra push-ups at the end, okay? Even if you get 1 or 2, that is going to help you get stronger, better at push-ups, which is always our goal. So we have 15 seconds left. I'm gonna let you guys do your thing here. And then we shall be done the push-ups. Okay, give me like 1 more, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and awesome. Okay. Nice work. So we can stand up off the floor, grab ourselves some water. Hopefully you feel good. Mostly just because we are done the push-ups. So next part we're going to move on to is going to be using our chair. The other thing that I usually mention, and I did not at the beginning of today's class, that you can use is your TRX. So we are going to be going into some rowing variations. Starting off with this first version, which is a 1-arm row. So if you have a TRX, you can go ahead and set it up and use it for this first part. As you guys know, I do not have a TRX. And so what I'm going to be doing is using my 8-pound dumbbells, both of them, stacked on top like this, as well as my chair here, which I will use for my knee, my hand. I'm going to grab onto these weights. Palm faces the leg. We're going to row and rotate so the palm faces the ribs, going through 10 of these with a 2-second pause at the top. So we let that down, we exhale, pull in, hold for 1, 2, and then we let that out with that rotation. Again, palm faces the leg, and then we rotate up, palm faces the ribs. 10 total with a 1, 2 hold at the top. So if you are TRX in it, same rules apply with our rotation with our pause. If you don't have the dumbbells, well then, you're gonna set up using your band, looped around that standing foot that's on the floor, and then we can go through that same rotation with that pause at the top, and we'll go through 10 on this side with a 2-second pause, and then we'll switch, and we'll get 10 going on the other side, okay? So we'll let you start your first set here. of these ones. 1, 2, a nice active pause at the top. We're trying to actively pull that shoulder blade behind our ear. 10 and 10. And then we're going to get a little dip action going after this one. So as we finish up those rows, the next one we want to go through is our bench or chair dips. So I'm going to sit on my chair, walk my hands so my thumbs are sort of underneath my hips. I'll lower my hips off the chair or the bench, but keep them nice and close. Dipping down so I get 90 degrees with elbow, and then we're going to push ourselves up to the top, going through 12 reps total. So we know that straight legs is going to be much more challenging. Bent legs is going to be easier, and anywhere between the straight and the bent, you're in control. Okay, so you can try straightening out your legs a little bit, bending them in, finding a point that is challenging but manageable for 12 reps total. Woo! Okay, and for those of you who don't have the chair, who don't have the bench, you can sub in here for our wall tricep extension. Okay, I'll just kind of move this guy in like this, and then we go down, and we push up, and you can go through 12 reps this way if you don't have the chair or the bench. As you finish up, we're doing it again. No rest in between, okay? No time on the clock. We're just going back to back between these two. Back into our first exercise, which is that one arm rotational pause row. Definitely a mouthful on that one. So we'll try our very best to get going into our second set. Okay, so the knee, the hand, palm faces the leg, and then we'll pull it in and hold here, 1, 2. Thinking about creating that 90-degree angle in the arm, making sure that our shoulder is leading the way, pulling behind the ear. That way we don't end up with our chicken wing elbow, because we don't want that. We want to pull that shoulder back so we can get full use of our back muscle, this big one that runs down the side of our back. So that's where we should be feeling this, especially because we're pausing. So you have a nice opportunity to really think about it in that pause. Okay, on both sides, 10 and 10. There we go. Very nice. All right, so we'll work through these ones. Awesome. And then we'll go into our second set of our dips. Now we're doing 12 reps here. We want to try our best to find something to make this 12 feel challenging. Now for some of us, probably getting pretty dang good at dips, pretty strong at them. So something I've recently been talking about is elevating our feet, which is going to crank this up a whole lot if you are someone who is used to doing these dips with straight legs. If you find they're actually getting easy, which is a good thing, which means you're getting stronger at them, what you can do is find something to put your feet up on, whether it is a stool, another chair, another bench, an ottoman, something like that. The more elevated your feet are, the more of that weight is going to be going on your upper body for those dips. So some of us, we're good with our feet on the floor. We might even still be working towards that straight leg situation. But for others, that might be what we need to do in order to feel this one, feel like it's challenging for a 12. Because we don't want to be thinking like, oh, I could get 15, or I could keep going at the end of the set. 12 is it, all right? So we'll try to get that in. 2 more sets, okay, back to back, trying to limit our rest. Okay, if you need to take any, we'll do it after the dips. Grab a quick sip of water, take a couple deep breaths. Okay, but remember, there's no prescribed rest, so we will try to go right of the rows. Very nice. Okay. So we'll work through balance this next set. And if you don't have the chair, the bench, for our dumbbell rolls, we'll take this hand, we'll put it on our knee to help get that additional support for our core and our lower back, the same way we would be getting it on the chair. Okay, again, if you're TRXing it, we don't have to worry about that so much because we're not in that bent over position. All right, let's do it. So this is our finishing up our second set. Starting our third, we have 4 of them. Did I mention that? I think so. But there's your another reminder, 4 rounds total. So we'll finish up this one. 2 more sets. Again, We are moving on to the next part, which is also the last part of our strength. But it's quite a big part. All right. So we'll get through these ones. The rows, the dips. Very nice. Okay, taking our time, making sure we're pausing every single one of those rows. There you go. All right, so we'll get through the sets. Right into the dips. Very nice. Okay, again, we want to make sure we have those shoulder blades moving as we go through those rows. We want the shoulder moving forward, shoulder moving back. Whereas when we're dipping on those dips, we want to set the shoulder blades back behind us and not allow them to roll forward. So if you're someone who feels these bench dips in your shoulders, okay, if you have pre-existing injuries in your shoulders, if you ever hurt yourself up here, then you might feel this a little bit more than those of us who don't. But this is evenly important for those of you who are injured and not injured, or who've had stuff going on. As we go through our set, before we go anywhere, we want to avoid this forward rolling shoulder. So to fix that, we set the shoulders back. All we have to do is pull the shoulders together, kind of like we practiced in the warm-up on our hands and knees, and then we keep them there the entire set. And that's going to put us to a safer and stronger position to do these dips, rather than having the shoulders roll and round forward like this. It doesn't feel good, it doesn't look good, and it is not good for the shoulder joint. So we'll make sure that we're opening up our chest, pulling those shoulders back here on this last set. When we're the most tired, we're feeling all this stuff. Okay, so we'll finish up here. We have about 2 minutes, which is plenty of time to finish up our last round of both the rows and the dips. Okay, if you're coming to the end a little early, you can just grab some water, take some breaths. Enjoy the rest, because there's not a lot in the next couple parts. All right, so we'll finish that last set of dips. 12 of them. Perfect. So as we are done that part, we are done with this chair. I always like to get it out of the way if I don't need it, because as you guys see, I am quite limited on space, kind of shoved in the corner here. And so as you are finished, if you need more room around you, you can go ahead and move that chair, because we are done with it. We're not going to be using it for the next 2 parts. But we do need everything else, including that long band that I mentioned at the very beginning. Okay, so less than a minute to finish up. And once you're done, we'll grab some water. Check it out. Think about how good we feel. Oh, yes. And we're going to get ourselves ready for the next part, which is the last aspect to our strength. We have a big old strength circuit. 4 exercises are going to be in this circuit. So we're going to start off with this first one. We'll do it together. We'll talk about the other 3. And then we are going through 4 rounds total of these 4 movements. So our first exercise is a combo move. It is a narrow to wide grip row. So we row narrow, and then we row wide, and that's 1. We're doing 10 total, where we row narrow and wide. So I'm going to, once again, be using my dumbbell. Same thing with the TRX. If you have it, that's a wonderful option to use. And I will also be showing you guys the banded versions for those of us who do not have dumbbells. Okay, so let's get you started on this first exercise. We're going to stand up nice and tall, hip width apart in the feet, soft knees. We'll push the hips back behind us. Palms are going to face each other for our narrow row. Now, when we pull in narrow, we don't want to tuck the elbows onto the body. We want to keep some space there, but we are in line with the body rather than out here in this more neutral position. And then we let that out, and then we'll pull in and rotate into our wide A grip position. That's 1. We're going through 10 of these total. So the narrow and the wide equals 1 rep. All right, so it's a sneaky, technically 20 reps total, but we're not going to count that way. We're going to count the narrow and then the wide. Okay, that's 3 for me. So you can start your set here. Again, we want to make sure that that wide grip is going into this A position, not into our T. So we don't want to be right up here. We want to be slightly tucked in, whereas the narrow is going to be in here. Okay? So we'll go through this first exercise. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, 10 of them. Awesome. Narrow, wide. Very nice. Okay, so again, if you're using bands, we can either loop the band around our wrist or hold it in our hands like so. And then we pull narrow, and then we pull wide. Okay, so we'll go through those 10. The next one's down on the floor. So we're going to get on down here. The next 2 actually are down here. First one is going to be for the triceps. The back of the arms here, we're going to do a tricep extension laying on our back. So I'm going to take both these dumbbells down with me, push them up out of my shoulder, and then we're going to drop them down beside our head, and then exhale and push up to the top. That's 1. We're doing 12 reps total. So we're going through these ones down to 90 degrees. Exhale all the way up and straight, trying to keep the top part of the arm from moving. So this top part of our arm is going to stay completely still. We're just hinging at the elbow, dropping it down, and then pushing it up. If your weights are too heavy, what you can do is put one down and just grab one sideways like this, and you can work with a single dumbbell press rather than the 2 dumbbells, okay? So we'll go through these ones, 12 reps total. Again, if you don't have dumbbells, you're holding a band down here like this, and then we're going to press 1 up at a time. 1 up at a time. Okay, you can count out your 12 this way rather than the dumbbells, because you may not have them, and that's okay. So that's our second movement. Okay, third one, don't get too excited on standing up, because the third one is also going to be down here. We're going to flip over onto our tummy, laying all the way down, aligning our arms in this W position. So if you shoulder check yourself, create that 90-degree angle, and then we're going to try to pull it in a bit. So we're feeling tension in our upper back. And then what we're going to do, keeping the legs down, the hips down, the feet down on the floor, the shoulders are going to come down towards the floor. You don't have to touch them, but go in that direction. And then the shoulders are going to pull up behind the ears. This is going to be us. We're going through 10 reps total. So shoulders down, exhale, shoulders back, trying to maintain that W position in the arms, staying looking towards the floor. There shouldn't be any movement through our back. We're just moving through the shoulder blades, the upper back, not the low back. So we don't want to be lifting off the floor like this. We're going to stay down, and oh, you're going to feel this one a lot if you have all that locked in place. So that's our third one. Woohoo! A little harder than it looks. And then we're going to stand up. Standing it up and going through our final movement, which is going to be a band pull apart. I'm going to hold this band a little bit wider than our shoulders, so the band is tight. And then I'm going to pull it across, stopping before we hit the chest, and then letting it come together, stopping before the band goes loose. 20 reps total on these ones, okay? 20. So we're going through 20 reps, trying to keep the arms straight. If you don't have the band, if you don't have a long band, you can either loop 2 of your loop bands together to create that long band, like this, okay? Or you can do our bent over, thumbs up, rear 20 reps, doing them like that. Okay, that was a big old circuit. It was not lying. We have 3 more sets of that. Step, no rest, no prescribed rest. So again, if you're going to take any, we'll do it when we're finished these band pulls. A couple deep breaths, maybe a quick sip of water, and then we will try to get right into our second set, back into our first one, our narrow to wide grip rows. Okay, so again, 10 reps. I'm going to remind you guys of the rep ranges and the reps on each of these. So there's a lot of them. 10 reps on this first one, remembering that the narrow plus that wide equals 1. Okay, we're doing 10 of those, and we will get through the second set. So we want to make sure that we have lots of movement in our shoulder blades and our upper back, shoulders moving forward, and then making sure that we pull back behind our ears. So we're avoiding hiking up the elbows and making sure that we have that 90 degrees happening in them. All right. So we'll get through our second set. And then we're headed down onto the floor for this next one. So again, if you don't have dumbbells, keep in mind you can always use like a water bottle or a weighted household item for this. And if you feel like your dumbbells are a little bit too heavy, I highly encourage you to use one instead of two. As this one, the Tricep Extension, it's also known as the skull crusher. I don't really like that name so much. I use it sometimes, but this one is essentially coming down beside our head, beside our skull. So we want to make sure that we're not crushing our skull when we're doing this. So if you feel like your dumbbells are a little wobbly and you kind of feel like you might drop them and hit yourself in the head, you might be safer off to just use one, okay? And just go through your set like this. Keep in mind, we go a little bit slower, especially as we lower the dumbbell down. It's going to make this feel a lot harder, okay? So if you're using a weight that maybe is a little bit light, that's something that you can do as you go through 12 reps. Very nice. Okay, 12 of them. Awesome. So we'll get through those ones for the triceps. Okay, back of the arms, working there. And then we'll flip over into that W Superman. So again, for the setup on that Superman, you can flip over onto your tummy, align your arms so that they're at this 90-degree angle. You can check yourself, literally look to the sides, make sure you're there. And then to get yourself into your starting position, you want to pull the shoulders down and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So now we're in our W position with that upper body. And now, as you go through your set, we want to keep that position. We go up and we go down through our 10 reps total of that Superman. Okay, let's get through that one. Yes. I double check. And then we'll finish off with our band pull-aparts. All these bands. All right. 20 reps is the number to beat. So these ones are all about our good posture promotion, our posture correction. So we're trying to keep our chest up. We're trying to think about those little muscles in the back of the shoulders doing the work as we go through our pulls. Making sure the shoulders are down. We're not losing our neck, okay, or else we're not going to get that same focus on the upper back. 20 of them. And then we have 2 more sets, my friends. That's going to conclude our strength. So we'll try to stay strong through these last 2 sets. Back to our rows, our little combo move. Okay. Just a couple of deep breaths, and then we'll get you started on our 3rd set. So back to our narrow, wide grip rows. Okay, remember to turn the palms. Narrow, we want the palms facing the ribs. And then as we pull into that wide, we turn the palms so that they're facing the legs. Okay, so we'll go through these ones. And then narrow plus wide equals 1 for 20 sneaky rows there, okay? Awesome. Got a little pop-up action happening. There we go. Oh, yeah. All right. So we'll get through those 10 of them. Awesome. Okay, so finishing those up. Right down onto the floor. For our tricep extensions. Okay, so laying on our back. dropping those dumbbells beside our head, and exhale, pushing them up. We want to make sure the dumbbells are separated. Sometimes you'll see this being done with the dumbbells together like this. That one is even more so risky of you crushing your skull or punching yourself with the dumbbells. So you want to separate the hands like this so the dumbbells can fall on each side of your head. Okay, it's safer and it's going to help you get more target on those triceps. Okay, so we'll try to keep those going through our 12. Right into our W Supermans. This third set. So we have one more after this. And then we are moving on to the last part. It's going to get us all hot and heavy, sweaty. It's our conditioning work. Best for last. All right. I'll get through those Supermans. Awesome. Going into our band pose. Again, trying to keep the shoulders relaxed, straight arms as we go through this. Okay. And for those of you who are using the bands with the handles, or even like a long band like this, feel free to grab the handles and loop the band around your hands. So that way the band's not like smacking you in the arm or in the hand as you go through your set of band pulls. You kind of hold it here rather than like this. Not necessary, but it is just an optional thing that feels a little bit better as we go through our sets of 20. Okay. So we'll finish this set strong. We have one more. Make it 4 in this big old circuit that we're working through. So we'll try our very best to get going right into that final set number 4. All right, so finish up those band pulls. And if you need a quick sip of water, that's okay. We got it. We have time. We have about 5 minutes, which is plenty of time to get through this. And maybe rest a little bit at the end. So once you're finished, we'll try our best to go right into that 4th set. And narrow to wide grip rows. Trying to really focus on your back muscles, which you probably don't have to think about as much because we've done a lot of stuff to already work them, so they're probably feeling a lot. But if you're not feeling this, these big back muscles that run down the sides of our back, think about it more. Send that mind to muscle connection to that point, those points, and hopefully we'll get that going on. Okay, because again, you should feel that direct work happening in your back. Especially because we're doing so many reps, okay? About 20 of them. All right. So I've got 2 back sets going into our triceps. Our skull crushers. All right. Last set of these ones. We may be taking a little bit more time as we lower those dumbbells down beside us. 90 degrees, and then exhaling as we push them up. Trying to keep that upper part of our arm as still as possible. Just the forearm is moving, hinging through the elbow. 90 degrees. And then again, we'll think about the tricep, the back of the arm. As we push those dumbbells up, we should feel that work happening back here. Oh yeah. Okay, final set. 12 of them. There we go. Okay. Flipping over, which is part of the workout. All the up and down they are into this W Superman. So this is your last set, and this is your final reminder that it is crucial that your feet and your legs stay down. This is not a lower back exercise, so we shouldn't feel any tension or stress in that lower back. If you're feeling that, you're most likely lifting by accident, which is a natural thing, but we want to think about avoiding that as we don't want to work that low back. We just want to work that upper back. So shoulders are moving apart together, maintaining that W position. Nothing else is happening in our body, and we'll go through our 10 reps total. If you want to make this set a bit more challenging, we can pause that top point as we go through our 10. All right, which you probably don't need to do because we're probably feeling that one a lot because it's very direct in that upper back. All right, and then we'll finish off with our last set of these band pulls. Let's get it. Now, as you are finishing up this final part, I'm going to be setting our timer for our last part, the conditioning. Where are we? Okay. Perfect. And perfect. Okay, so take your time. We have some time with it. We have about 2 minutes until we should be starting that final part. So I'll give you at least 1 more minute to finish up our last part of our circuit for the strength. And then we are going to move it on to the last part, which is all about our conditioning our heart, our lungs, getting our heart rate up, getting us all hot and heavy. Okay, so once you're finished, you can grab some water. And then you're going to move on. So, equipment-wise, for this final part, the main thing that we need is space. Okay, we're going to be working this cardio work. We are going to be jumping around a little bit. We are also going to be using this band, this long band. So we're using this for a couple things, and I'm going to talk about them so that you can grab whatever you need in case you don't have this or you need to go get it, whatever it is. So for our first exercise, we're going to be using this on the floor like this and using it as a reference point. Okay, we're working on a timer, which I'm going to talk about in a minute here. But for this first one, we're kneading it down on the floor like this. Now, if you don't have a long band, what you can do instead is grab your loop bands, these guys here, and you can put them down on the floor like this. All right, and again, it's a reference point. So you don't actually technically need these at all. If you don't have bands, you don't have to stress out about putting something down on the floor. You can simply just imagine those 2 lines there, okay? So that is going to be the first use of the band. The second use of the band, which this is your little pre-warning, we're going back into this pull-apart stance, and we're going to be doing a banded pull-apart. So same thing, if you don't have a band, you don't technically need to use a band. But if we're holding something in our hands, we're going to be using all of the stuff in our upper back of the shoulders a lot more than if we're not holding something, okay? So those are the 2 things we're going to use that band for. Dumbbells can be moved aside, and let's talk about the circuit. So our very first exercise, again, there are 4 of them that we're going to work through. 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So we have 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest between each exercise. We are completing 4 sets total of these ones, and we're going to be done after this, okay? So that first exercise is going to need the band down on the floor, like we talked about, and it's going to be our fast in and out feet. So we're going in and out of that band, woo, as fast as we can for 40 seconds. The other 3 movements I'm going to show you on the timer on that 20 seconds of rest so that we can get this started, so that we can finish. All right, so get ready. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, first set, first movement. Feet are in and out. We're trying to move the arms. Okay, move the feet as fast as possible. If you're low impact, we're simply not going to jump as much. Okay, but if you can, we're trying to move as quickly as possible. All right, so pace yourself so that you can keep doing this and maintain this for 20 more seconds. All right, we got this. So we're trying to move the arms. If that messes you up, you can just keep them in front of you. Okay, the feet are the most important. Arms are secondary. 5 seconds. Okay, second one. We're going to move this guy out of the way. Bring ourselves to the very end of the mat. Hip width apart in the feet. Hands are going down onto the floor. We're going to walk ourselves down to the bottom. When we get here, we shoulder tap, and then we walk back up to the top. And that's your starting beat. Let's do it. So we walk down, shoulder tap, walk back up. Now, if you're someone who wants to crank this up a notch, rather than shoulder tapping, you can reach for that opposite knee, and then walk back up to the top. Woo! Which is going to take a lot more core, Okay, it's important your hips are stable. We're not having that shifting, that tilting going on. And you have 10 seconds left. So look at us go. Woo, last one. 3, 2, 1, and stand up. Okay, third movement is going to be that banded jumping jack. So again, if you have a band, we're going to hold it in front of us. Once again, you might want to loop your hands around that band. Keeping in mind, you don't need this. You can just hold your arms out. Feet together, arms are straight, waiting for our beat. We're going to jump our feet out and pull that band apart, not letting the band snap together and apart. We want to control it as much as we can. Again, if you can't quite keep that going, you can either drop the band, okay, and just work with your arms coming in and out like this, or you can just hold the band and just work with the feet moving in and out, okay? Because I get it. This one burns. Hot fire in the shoulders. You're feeling it. We're going to try to work through it. 10 more seconds left. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Time. Nice work. Okay, put that band down. Get it out of your sight. Just kidding. Keep it close. We're going to need it for a second set. For this last one, we don't need the band. We're going to come over to one side of the mat, facing forward now. In a more narrow stance, we're going to sit down into a squat and side shuffle all the way down in this squat to one side. We'll jump, and then we side shuffle all the way back, and then we jump. Okay, so we're taking it nice and slow in that squat. The lower we sit, the harder this one's going to be. So if I just sit down here, woo, it's going to be a lot more challenging than if I am up here, all right? Of course, if you don't jump, rather than leaving the floor, we're just going to shoot on the toes and then go through those side steps. Let's do it. 10 seconds left. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 3, 2, 1, rest. Okay, stop. Nice work. So we're going to grab some water right now. Walk it off. Take some of those nice deep breaths. We're doing it again. Okay, 3 more sets. And we're out of here. We are done. Okay, back to that first one. Are you ready? We have about 5 seconds to get ready. Okay, put your band down. Align your band, or maybe your imaginary lines. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, on to our second set. Fast feet. Okay, so we're trying to move the arms and move the legs. Everything should be shaking in your body. That means you're doing it right. Okay, we want to get everything moving and really trying to push our top end. See how fast we can do this one. Trying to move your feet a little bit quicker than you want to go. Some sneaky coordination work is going on in here. And let's do it. 10 seconds left. Okay, a little bit faster. Let's go. All right. Come on now. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Amazing. Okay, we'll move that band out of the way. Bring ourselves to the end of the mat. Take a deep breath or two. We're feeling this now. Okay, and do our walk out to shoulder tap. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, so we walk out to the bottom. Shoulder tap, walking up to the top. Now, if you're someone who really struggles with this whole walk out, walk up situation, the wider your feet, the easier this one feels. So if you need a little bit of help, you try widening up your feet a bit, see if that helps you. On the flip side, if you're doing the reach, you still want to make it harder. If you narrow your feet, it's going to make it more unstable as we do that shoulder tap or that opposite knee reach. Last one, 5 seconds. And time. Woo! All right, so we're up and at 'em, ready for our banded jumping jacks. Potentially the hardest one, just because of all the other stuff that we've done for the upper back, the back of the shoulders. Okay, we're gonna try to champ ourselves through this, going through our second set. Okay, straight arms. Again, if you're not gonna make it, keep the legs going. Again, if you're low impact, we're either with the band, without the band, okay? But this is okay. If you can't keep those arms going, all right, because we know the most important part of this is getting your heart rate up. It's working your conditioning, your cardio. So if your arms can't keep moving, that's okay. As long as you can keep the legs moving. 10 seconds left. Yeah. Let's go, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Put it down. Nice work. All right. Whew. Deep breaths. I always know when my heart rate is going crazy. I'm just showing this to you guys. You guys are probably feeling this a lot. But we got this. Okay, on to the side shuffle squat jumps. So we sit down. We're going to take these side steps. Arms are in front of us. Jumping as high as we can on that one side. And then on the other side. Okay, staying nice and low, stable in these side steps. 25 seconds left. There we go. Awesome. Okay, a couple more times there and back. 10 seconds left. We got this. Come on now. 5 seconds. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Time. All right. We're officially halfway through this part. More than halfway through our session though, right? So that's good news. We are going to finish you up with 2 more sets of this stuff, and then we are done for the day, okay? So we're going to put that band down. And there we go. Going through our 40 seconds as fast as we can, right? This one can be really easy, right? We can just kind of go like this, go really slow, but it can also be so challenging if we move as fast as we can, okay? Don't worry about how much noise you're making. We do want to stay soft on our feet, but speed is the most important. So let's try to go faster than we want to go. Make yourself uncomfortable doing this. Like, you need to stop as we approach this last 10 seconds, but keep going. Do not slow down. 5 seconds left. Come on. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Good job. Okay. Getting that guy out of the way for our walkouts. So coming to the end of the mat. Deep breath. Ready or not? Let's go. Okay, into our walkout. Okay, maybe we're doing our opposite knee, opposite hand. Walking back up to the top, standing tall, and then doing it again. 30 more seconds left. Very nice. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's go through about 2 more of these, all the way up, all the way down. 10 seconds left. Woohoo! 3, 2, 1. Time. All right. We have our banded jumping jacks. Oh yeah. Okay, so again, if you feel like you are not going to make it, you couldn't keep those arms going, you can maybe try this without the band. That's okay. Arms in front of us, feet together, and then we'll go through our jacks, pulling our arms apart. Okay, again, low impact, high impact, same rules apply. We're trying to move quickly, as fast as we can. As fast as our feet can move. Arms have to be together with those feet. 20 seconds left. We got this. Okay, so try to just pace yourself so that you don't have to stop. Whatever it is, even if you go a little slower, that's all right, but I don't want you stopping until you hear the beep. 10 seconds. You got this. 3, 2, 1. All right, put that band down. We're not quite slingshotting it away quite yet. We have 1 more set to go after this one. Let's finish up with our side shuffling squat jumps. So bring it on over to one side. Again, we're in a bit more narrow stance than our normal squats. We want to sit down, push our hips back. Side step in all the way over. And then we explode. So you can take a little bit longer on these side steps. Okay, that means you might not have to do as many of these squat jumps, but we want them to be powerful, okay, explosive, landing soft at the bottom. And then again, taking your sweet time, a little bit of leg burn in action in those side steps. Oh yes. Not to mention your heart rate is going like crazy, and that is the goal here. That's what we're going for. So keep it moving. 10 seconds left. You got this. Give me like one more. Shuffle, in jump, and rest. Amazing job. All right. All right, my friends. We are here on our last set. The moment you've been waiting for, almost. The moment you're waiting for is when we're done. We're almost there. We have one more round of this stuff. All right, so we'll put that band down. And that's it. Let's go. Final set, final round. Okay, so whatever you need to do to get your feet moving faster, okay? Let's do it. This is your final chance, final opportunity. So see if we can move it a little bit quicker. The more powerful, the more agile you can be, the more you're going to get out of this entire part, this entire conditioning work. 15 seconds left. Okay, let's crank it up a notch. Even if you think you cannot go faster, I think you can. I know you can. So see if you can go a little bit more with the feet. Come on now. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Nice work. All right. Woohoo! That one is quite exhausting. I know this. I know this. All right, so we're going to come to the end of the mat. Take a deep breath. Get ready to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Okay, walking down. Shoulders, shoulders, walking back up. I don't want to say this is the easiest one, but it's definitely the slowest one. All right, so do take your time with it, trying to find that stability in your hips. As we go for those shoulder taps, you want to keep that plank as strong as possible, not having the tilting, the shifting going on. 15 seconds. That is time for one more. Nice strong rep. There you go. Take your time with it. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Nice job. All right, we got the jacks. The jacks. Definitely the most burning one of these 4. I think so. All right, so grab your band or not. If you're not going to use it, that's okay. Feet together. Let's go. So we'll work through this last set of these jumping jacks. Okay, whatever you're doing, high impact, low impact, band, no band, we want to keep it moving as fast as possible. And tapping into that uncomfortable feeling that I'm always talking about when we're doing our conditioning. The feeling that you feel like you need to stop, but I want you to keep working through that. The more you can push through that, the higher we're going to get your heart rate, and the more benefit that you're going to get out of this session. Let's keep it moving a little faster. 5 seconds left. Finish strong. 3, 2, 1. All right, bend down, bend away. We are done with it. We have one final one. Squat jump with the side shuffle, and that's going to take us to the finish line. Of course, we'll have some time to rest. We're going to talk about a few stretches, but this is going to conclude the work. Let's get ready and let's go. Okay, shuffling, exploding out of that squat jump. Okay, keeping in mind, you don't have to sit all the way down to 90 degrees. In fact, I'm not even close to 90 degrees, okay? Unless you want to make it a bit harder for your legs, which I will not be joining you on, especially now in this last set. Maybe you want to do that for yourself. 15 seconds left. Let's do it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, last couple. One more strong jump. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Woo! All right, we are so very done. So what we're going to do right now is just rest, okay? I have a timer set for 2 minutes, which we always set after our cardio, our conditioning work. Whenever we get our heart rate all the way up like this, we're feeling all hot and heavy, the last thing we want to do is stop and go into those static stretches, which are important, which we're going to talk about. But before we do, we want you to cool down. We want you to calm down. let your heart rate come down. So walking around the space that you have, taking deep breaths into your belly, drinking water, those three things are going to help you come back to normal, come back to a more normal state quicker than you just kind of sitting or standing in one place, okay? So keep it moving, circling around the space that you have, trying to breathe, calm yourself down. As you do this, I'm going to talk about a few stretches that I want you to do, okay? And they're very simple. They're going to take you about 3 to 5 minutes, okay? So you're going to be on your own, independently stretching, but again, they are going to help you loosen up. So the first one is for our chest and shoulders. You can actually do this one while you're still cooling down. So if you're short on time, if you have places to be and people to see after this session, then you can go ahead and reach behind your back here while you're still breathing and cooling down. And you can start to incorporate this static chest shoulder stretch into that, okay? If you're feeling good, if you're feeling like you can again have that conversation, you're back to a more normal state, then you can find yourself a door frame, okay, or a wall like this, and get that nice holding stretch done on your chest and shoulders, all right? This one is really important to help us promote good posture, to reinforce all of that work we did for our upper back, to help pull our shoulder blades together. We also need to do stretching in the front here, okay? So I've turned this timer off. That's the first one, probably the most important. If you're going to do anything, stretch your chest and shoulders. Second one, and the last one, is for your back. So you can find yourself something to hold on to. It can be your TRX, door handle, the back of your couch, a bookcase, and we're going to lean our hips back and away from it, getting a nice opening stretch down the side of our back, upper back, a little bit into the low back. You might even feel some stretching in the back of the legs, left over from yesterday potentially. And we'll hold this one here for the same time we held that first one, about 1 minute. All right, so any other stretches that you would like to do, feel free to throw in, but again, those two are the most important. Hopefully you feel good. Now that we're done all that crazy stuff, you are done with me for today. Thanks so much for joining me for another session. We are back tomorrow for full body conditioning. Hopefully I'll see you then. And yeah, have a great day. And my replay watchers, if you are here watching this replay, if you're still watching this, still following along, you can drop a comment below. Let me know you were here. Let me know how you feel after doing that. And I look forward to reading it. See you guys soon. Bye.